friend of the channel and recent guest on I've Been Meaning to Listen to That podcast, Read My Soul, seems to really dislike this new album by Joey Badass, Lonely at the Top. And I get his point. If you haven't seen his video, it's very good. It really kind of goes after it. I think he calls it Lonely at the Flop. It's pretty creative. And the funny thing is, I really like this record, but I also totally understand where he comes from. And I think it means that we're in a pretty interesting place right now in hip-hop. Dare I say, like, good? Something is going really well. If somebody who loves rap as much as Read My Soul can hear this album and be mad at it, I think that actually means something good. Now listen, I do like this record. I've lived with it for a while. I haven't been able to record as many videos as usual because I'm doing this on my other channel. I'm recording all these, I'm recording my class on Haiti, and I had to drop my daughter off at college. It's the first week of school. I'm busy, y'all. But I've been listening to it like attentively, carefully, with headphones and Lyric Genius up. But I've also been listening kind of in the background, and I really like it. You know, it's really well produced. There's lots of great raps. And what I realized is this. Like, if this album were one of the best albums of 2025, things would be really bad right now. But if this album can be considered bad, then I think things are really, really good. Do you get my point? Like, if this can come out, something this good can come out, and most of the reactions can either be sort of like middling or negative, that means that we are, in the parlance of our time, eating really well in terms of good hip-hop. It kind of reminds me of a year I lived through, 1998. All right? Let's talk about 1998. And I think the album that this is most comparable to in that banner year, okay? When we talk about 1998 being a banner year, let me just read you the names of some of the CDs I bought and listened to back in 1998. Aquemini by Outkast, Lauryn Hill, Jay-Z Volume 2, the first Big Pun album, The Pillage by Capadonna. I'm not going to lie, that's probably the album I listened to the most back then. Tikal 2 by Method Man, It's Dark and Hell is Hot, Hello Nasty by the Beastie Boys, 400 Degrees by Juvenile, the Can I Bus album, the Locks album, Smith & Wesson came out with something good, He Got Game soundtrack proved that both Spike Lee and Public Enemy still had it, The Def Squad and Flip Mode, two really underrated Posse albums, Black Star, M.O.P., all right, all those things came out in 1998. So that an album like this, when this came out, Noriega's N-O-R-E, you know, was this one of the top 10 albums of 1998? No. But it's a really good album. If this Joey Badass album came out, you know, if this were the CD days, you know, like right now, I'd have a stack this high, you know, the McKinley Dixon and Jid and Clips and Ray Vaughan and Gais Guevara and Billy Woods and Earl Sweatshirt. I could just, Tyler, I could just keep on going and going and going and going. And it is true that this album, you know, Lonely at the Top, doesn't quite fit. It doesn't belong in that name, in that list. But neither did this album from Noriega. And this is a great rap album. And I hate to say it, everybody, but so is this new Joey Badass. It just happens to be released at either the right time or the wrong time. I also think it depends whether or not you think this album is great or bad. It depends on what context you see it. If it's in the context of mainstream New York rap albums, it might be the album of the decade. Okay? In terms of mainstream rap albums out of New York City, or its boroughs, you know? But so in that way, this album is amazing. But like for New York, but for hip hop in general, where we are right now with the things that we've seen, the things we've been living through, and this great reset, you know, this great rebirth, I don't know. It doesn't belong up there. Do you see my point? It's all a question of perspective. I will say, there is something just off about this album, and that's not like an insult. That's just like a statement of fact. There's just something strange and uncanny. In some ways, it belongs. I've been trying to develop some kind of rubric of, I'm a professor. Thank you for auditing the Always Positive Music Review Show, hosted by a professor who never learned how to make rubrics in grad school. And then I start in college, and they're all like, what are your rubrics? I'm like, I don't know what a rubric is. That was the guy in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels who poked his eye out with a fork. Anyways, I've been trying to create a rubric of this 24, 25 great reset, rebirth, renaissance that we have of hip hop here. And to be fair, this album does not check most of the boxes. It's not explicitly pro-black or explicitly anti-white supremacist. It isn't sort of spiritually forward. It doesn't really question free market capitalism or the system as it exists in any meaningful way. It is, I would say, explicitly regional, and I think maybe that's a point that it's like Metro Boomin releases that album. It's really good. I haven't reviewed it, but it's really good, and everyone's like, oh great, this sounds just like Atlanta music. And then this album comes out, and everyone's like, it just sounds like New York music. Which is it, people? Do we want regional music or not? So I think it's a very solid rap album from the late 90s, early 2000s. But like whenever Atlanta music sounds like older Atlanta music, we just sort of say good. Or California music sounds like old California music, like, wow, these are retro vibes. And then New Yorkers come out with something that sounds like it's from there. It's like, it's just boom bap bullshit. I don't know. So I think we hold New York to a higher standard, which, maybe we should. I don't know. There isn't a particular large amount of deference to music of previous generations. But the biggest part, I think, if I were to use one word to define this whole moment, it's growth. That's the thing that we're looking for from artists, is growth. Emotional honesty. Is there growth and emotional honesty in this album? I'm not sure. Okay? But it's weird. It's weird because this was kind of supposed to be his year. Shout out to Jeremy Hecht, who at the December predicted Joey Badass and Jid would be like the artists of the year. This was supposed to be Joey Badass's year. He starts off on January 1st with the beginning of the Friendly Fade. And there's a thing that you can do where you use a beef or use a back and forth or a friendly fade or some kind of unexpected publicity, and you use that to build up. Okay, like they come out, you're at a restaurant and they're like, oh, here's some garlic steak bites. Here's some beef skewers for you. And then the main meal comes, and I don't know, it's some kind of ridiculously good salmon or something, Something just wonderful. I mean, think of the last year. Think of what GNX was able, GNX was the main course, and all the beef songs ended up being like these great appetizers that got you so excited for where Kendrick was right now. Look on the other side of that, you have Drake's example where, the beef skewers were a little bit off, and then the main meal, was Sexy Songs for You, which was like, it was like Alfredo, it's like a pasta with Alfredo sauce, and the Alfredo sauce tastes a little bit like battery acid, So there's an interesting interaction between like beef as appetizer and then main meal. And the Friendly Fade set us all up for Joey's year, right? So I thought of let's keep this metaphor going. Let's pretend there's this amazing restaurant. It's like a Mexican fusion cuisine, kind of high cuisine, but sort of based on some Mexican classics. It's called Jose Chingon. Okay, that's the name of the restaurant. Great restaurant. Everyone talks about it. They used to be a little hotter now. You can get a table. All right. So you go to Jose Chingon, and you're like, all right, let's get these appetizers. Carne Apache, okay? It's this like beef tartare Mexican dish, and it's just so good. You're just so psyched. It's so tasty. And the waiter comes out and he says, you're not going to believe the main meal. You're not going to believe how good this food is. This is going to be the best meal you've ever had. We are going to bring out in just 10 minutes, Gulf shrimp with heirloom tomatoes, Meyer lemon mayonnaise, fried capers, chevril squash blossom risotto with parmesan and basil, and you are just waiting, and you're sitting at the table, and then some stuff happens outside. You see that there's a food truck out there. It's run by Clips, and you're sort of like, well, that's kind of cool. I don't know, but you're waiting because, man, that appetizer was really good. And then they flip the sign that says closed, and you're like, wait, I thought where's the main thing? And so you just go home. You never got the main meal. And how great the appetizer was starts to fade from memory. And then you get a flyer in the main, Jose Chingon, new location. And you go there and everything's a little bit off. And the chef comes out, and instead of telling you how good the meal's going to be, he starts complaining about the person who owns the building. All right? He comes out there, he's like, I'm signed to Columbia Records, but for the longest time, I ain't been fucking with them. All they do is get in my way. They really don't contribute to nothing, especially this year. And you're like, all right, man, I don't like record labels. I don't really like, landlords. So I guess, is that why I haven't had a meal? And then what he serves you is not that other thing. He serves you a really solid camarones a la mexicana, okay, with the ranchero sauce, a really good shrimp, not the thing that he promised before. It's not like the best meal you've ever eaten, but it's super good, but you thought it was going to be great. And then you look around and the restaurant's completely empty and you're like, wait, why am I alone enjoying this restaurant so much? Did Reed just walk by the restaurant and just flip it off and spit on the window? What's going on over here? What's going on? And it makes sense because they all wanted that thing with the tomatoes, the heirloom tomatoes and the chevril, whatever the hell that is, And it's weird. You get this. It's not the meal you thought you were getting. It's not delivered when you thought you were getting it. And you kind of forgot why you were excited in the first place. Weirdly enough, his main opponent in the beef did the opposite. Ray Vaughn released his album and then gave us the appetizers. So he gave us this great meal, and then he's like, do you want some beef skewers? And we're like, I guess. Anyways, listen, I worked harder on that metaphor than I've worked on many things. You tell me if it worked. Smash like bucket, subscribe, AVAA. I'm hungry now. I'm recording this instead of eating lunch. But let's get to the title of the album, all right? Just Lonely at the Top. This is one of the craziest and most hubristic album titles. It's one of the least sensical. It's okay, I'm going to put it up there as one of the worst album titles of all time, I think, because of just the cognitive dissonance that you have when you hear someone who says he's at the top and he is not at the top of anything. The top of what? He's not at the top of the acting game. He's a successful actor, but he's not at the top. He's not at the top of rap music. He's not at the top of hip-hop. Throughout the entire album, he doesn't even really claim to be. Yeah, I mean, he calls himself the king of New York, but, at this point, that's damning yourself with faint praise. Lonely at what top? What is the idea? Shouldn't this be about getting to the top? Shouldn't this be about trying to make it? Shouldn't it be more like JID? I don't know. And then just when you think of Lonely at the Top and when he brings this up, I can't help it. I feel like one of our lost artists, Drake. I mean, how much did he rap about being lonely at the top and not being able to trust everybody? And is that what it is? But then I realized we're focusing on the wrong thing. If you take this album as Lonely at the Top and you just focus on the fact that he's calling himself the top when you know he's not the top, you're losing out the actual important thing. The important thing, and the thing that might actually make this album actually great, is the word lonely. He's a lonely guy. This album is deeply sad. This is one of the saddest rap albums I can think of. All right? And it's not performatively sad. It's not emo. It's just a guy who's really sad. Have you seen the cover of the album? I'll put it on my thumbnail. It's this abstract picture of a face with no mouth. And it's just these sunglasses. You don't even see his actual eyes. It's these abstract sunglasses and no face and nothing. If your daughter brought that home from high school, from her art project, you probably say dear, do we need to get you to see somebody? Are you okay? Is everything all right? Red flag. All right, this is red flag art. Lonely at the Top. We were maybe expecting, after getting that appetizer, some sorry not sorry energy and the mink coat and the swagger. There's no swagger at all. Lonely at the Top is just another way to say lonely. And when we know he's not at the top, we know he's in the middle. So he's lonely in the middle. And I'm not calling him mid, you son of a bitch. I don't believe in the term mid, especially not with really good art by really good artists, okay? But one has to be fair. He is not at the top of anything. He is in the middle. So that's just some ways of thinking about this album, Were you spitting at me, Reed? No, just at the restaurant. Okay, cool. If the album is to be criticized for anything, it is to be criticized for a thing that other people get praised for, which is at times it feels like pastiche. It feels like it's just sort of imitating old styles. But what I want to do is I want to do a study of this album and really focus on the fact that, man, this is just not what you were expecting. This is an album about sadness and loneliness. The opening song is called Dark Aura, with this strong bass and cinematic strings. Okay, my personal favorite worst album title in rap history is Forever by Puff Daddy, because that was like when his career was over as a musician. He's just like, forever. I bought it anyways. I don't know why I bought it. I don't have it here because it's in my surplus area. I never listened to it. Anyways, you tell me in the comments, what do you think is the worst album title in rap history? Maybe one of the best was another 98 album by Snoop Dogg. That game is to be sold, not to be told. That's great. Anyways, so, he starts right off. There's no hype up song. There's no like, dun, 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 here I come, New York King, here I am, the real Frank White. Yo, it's like Dark Aura. Turn my headphones up. And then, it's fine. Like it's good. It's super solid, but it's just kind of weird. It's kind of Jeb Bush. It's kind of low energy, but I think that's on purpose. I love how he goes into a second gear on the second verse, and he makes reference to the first depressive hip-hop song, The Message, by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, but actually by Duke Booty and Melly Mel, the only two people who did anything on that song. Just don't push me because I'm close to the edge. He's talking about being cracked. It's a low-energy way to start, and I think that's on purpose, which leads right into Swank White. Very nice kind of 70s soul sample. This great loop is resetting. Reporting live from the side with the grass greener, dodging government subpoenas and state tax and misdemeanors. Morgan Stanley, treat me like I'm close family. I dropped 80 in the market like I'm Kobe. Morgan Stanley treats me like I'm close family. Hey, that's another one of those little sad things about this album. That's a sad thing to say. Your bank treats you like family. You know what that means? That means that's transactional. You have a transactional relationship. If you're broke, your bank does not treat you like family. The second that you come in with a little bit of money, they're like, hey, have you considered the Sapphire program? Basically, every time that you have a little bit of money in your bank account, your bank turns into Patrick Bateman. Do you like Huey Lewis in the News? Have you considered a gold card, a platinum card, a satinum card, a sapphire card, a lapis lazuli card? What kind of gem can I offer you for you to go into debt? Anyways, Morgan Stanley treats me like I'm family. And then we're going to have the first dramatic reading, not in Joey Badass's awesome rap voice, but in a sad voice. I carried the whole team by my dolly. Nobody ever told me that the top would feel this lonely. It's sad. Real rap shit, but it's still high art. Hey, you don't have to convince me. West Side Gun comes in. I like this duo. I think they work well together. I want more stuff with them together. His verse is just kind of standard. Money machine broke. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? That kind of stuff. I do like that it's a long verse. He's trying hard on it. It's great. I love their voices together. Then we get to Superfly, which the real reason I brought out this CD is I'm like, it's called Superfly, which I assume is in reference to the song Super Thug, which I tell this every once in a while. So I was listening to a lot of radio, Jammin' 94.5 in Boston, all right? Jammin' 94.5 is like the Hot 97 of Boston. And the song Super Thug, I remember I was in my bedroom in Boston the first time I heard Super Thug, and I had a clock radio that I used to wake me up, and I had it set to 94.5, and I first heard, what, and I was just like, you got to be kidding me. What is this sound? What is this sound? And this song is just that sound. It's also like to give it to me. What's that one? Give it to me. I just want to love you, baby. Whatever that Jay-Z song is called off the Rock La Familia album. Underrated album. Scarface has one of the best verses in rap history on that album. Anyways, whatever that song is, it's just like, how is Pharrell not getting writing credits? I don't understand it. How is Hugo not getting, how is this, I guess it's just pastiche. It's just so close. But then the chorus becomes a different pastiche. It starts to sound like Swizz Beatz. And then he has someone saying in the back some stuff like all about how he's like flossing or whatever. But it's like, is that actually Swizz Beatz? Like, what is this? It's confusing. It's confusing. These mixtures. I had the diamonds cut on the wrist. It's a suicide watch. It's a sad lyric. It's weird. It's weird. I get that he's trying to talk about like the wrist and the cut of the diamonds and on the wrist, and like it's clever. It's a clever line, but it's sad. Talk to God because it's lonely on the path to the top. He's sad. Man, I really hope. Hey, just so you know, if this thing stops recording, I will upload part 2 and it will be in the description. But my computer is getting like really hot, and when it does that, it just freezes and it drives me absolutely up the wall. But hey, why not? It's a fun song. Every time it comes on, my daughters, my 3-year-old, my 1-year-old start dancing. So why not? Then we get to High Roller, these weird restarting sounds, a great multisyllabic verse to start off. I mean, he's a good rapper. He's even a great rapper, you know? And then this weird, like, weekend style singing, the chorus. I guess it's Kel's Too Busy. I don't know. It's good. The melody reminds me of Just Come My Way from, what's that song by Carly Rae Jepsen? And then A$AP Ferg has a great verse. I want to give a shout out to another music YouTuber, Kiki, talked about how... So I really like this verse because I like his breath control and how he kind of reminded me of Busta Rhymes. He's on this album too. But Kiki points out that it's just totally off subject. So I'd also watch Kiki's video on this album as well. It's a less harsh review than Reed's. Ready to Love featuring Ty Dolla $ign. You know, Ty, he's always perfect. He's always great. It's great hearing him. And I thought this was just going to be a boring ass sex song, but it's actually showing some personal growth. I'm trying to be a better man for my daughter. Trying to think broader, but the way I brought up had me colder. So, he's talking about the way that he socialized as a man, the way that he socialized as a black man in America, the way that he socialized as a black man in America growing up in financial insecurity. He's talking about all these things that are really important, the kind of things that FD Signifier makes great videos about. And that's important, He's talking about it. It's difficult. It's difficult to break out of the cycle of abuse or of mistreatment. When he's trying here. BK's finest, Static Selecta, man. Static Selecta is doing some great beats on this album. He managed to make so posse cuts are heavy because you have too many people rapping. But this beat is perfect, even though it feels at times like a DJ Premier pastiche in the chorus with scratching up different things. It's okay. I mean, what the hell? That's a good thing to copy if you can copy it, Damn, my computer's hot. But it's a great beat that can hold all these voices. So the question for you is, who wins this? This is a great competitive thing. This is the way, Jid talks about, this is the way you got to battle. You got to put each other on the same song, and who has the best verse. Who wins this verse? We'll see. You can tell me, I like it. I love all the borough talk. I like how Joey, references Jay-Z. Hov laid out the blueprint we're all trying to follow, make a nightmare out of these street dreams. If you get pinched, it's great. You think he's not going to win. How about Rome Streets? Somebody who I think is one of the 5 best rappers alive right now. Someone who I think, bar for bar, is better than Joey. But no, he might be the best rapper on this song, but he does not have the best verse. Great Christopher Moltisanti reference, though. Kai Cash, I like it, but no, he's not quite there. I do like saying, treat the Clays like the garden. Treat the Brooklyn Barclays Center like the garden. That's funny. The winner of this song is CJ Fly. I don't really know CJ Fly, but I love this verse. F all the glamours and glitz, keep a hammer and a wrench, so you all broke MFers get dismantled and fixed. I love this line. Hate to see my dark skin, I sharpen my harpoon when I see shark fins. Man, I just like that kind of multisyllabic goofiness. I think he's awesome. I think he wins this verse. Who do you think? Slowy jazz ending. Now, what's interesting is in Kiki's review of this, they sort of say that, like, this is a suite of 3 sad songs in a row, and that's true. Although I just see the whole thing as sad. I mean, it starts off with Dark Aura. Man, that sounds so emo. My Chemical Romance came out with a new song today. It's called Dark Aura. Underwater's got this cool underwater beat, and then just these lyrics, everybody. Speaking of emo, okay. I'm going to try to sing this like an emo singer, okay? Sometimes I feel like I can't breathe, like I'm underwater trying to reach. from the surface, but I'm stuck underneath. It's like I'm trapped and I can't seem to free myself. Free myself. Free myself. All right, we can read it like that. We can read it like a really sad. Sometimes I feel like I can't breathe, like I'm underwater trying to reach. It's terrible. It's a terrible feeling he's describing. I'm goofing on it, but I think it's important and it's good. Why not describe this feeling? It feels honest. It feels like growth. It's better than I'm not sorry, you know? A nice, impressive, fast rap style. I'm counting down all my days. I gotta let it go. It's written all in my face. I'm spinning all over the place. And then he has a whole little self-help thing where he talks to someone who looks in the mirror and thinks they're a loser, and he knows how they feel because that's how he feels. Who you mad at, me or yourself? How contagious is your mental health? Deep down, you've been swimming in doubt. You might be as good as Michael Phelps. On the low, it's the lowest you felt. But your pride too high to ask for help. See that you the problem, I figured you out. How I know, because I know myself. Everybody, if this is bad, then we are good. Do you understand what I'm saying? If this is what counts as bad, then we are doing pretty damn good. All right? This is absolutely NORE territory. Man. And then the outro, breathe, coming up for air in a whirlpool of despair is where I face my fear. Then we get to 3 feet away, just more sad guy rapping, dealing with anxiety, practicing sobriety, chilling in the harmony. Someone lied to me when I was younger, told me I couldn't be who I am now. He talks about how, he's just 3 feet away. Now, what's interesting here is he's talking about the meme that says, keep digging, keep working. And there's an image of somebody who is digging underground and they walk away when the gold is just 3 feet away. This is the problem. Walk away, everybody. Stop digging for gold. The gold rush, 90% of people in gold rush lost their money, okay? 10% made a profit, but of that, okay, only 4% made significant life-changing amount of money, which means for every 1,000 people every 100 people who went gold digging, only 4 of them, it was worth it. The rest of them just wasted their time. Don't dig for gold. That's ridiculous. You might end up hitting a sewer line instead. You might be 3 feet away from a sewer line. You are a million times more likely to be 3 feet away from a sewer line because this kind of thinking, keep digging, you might hit gold, is the same thing that keeps people addicted to gambling because you go, oh, if I just click one more time on Drake.com, I'll manage to I'll win. I'll need a max win. But no, you're going to need a max loser all the time because that's the way it's set up. When you invest in crypto and Bitcoin and all this stuff, we're trying to teach all these people that you just got to keep digging for gold. Don't keep digging for gold. Keep building. Stop digging and start building. You start learning how to put dig a foundation. You can dig a foundation for a house, build a house on it, and then maybe sell the house if you want, or live in the house. But everyone's got to stop digging for gold. It's not 3 feet away, everybody. It's not. It is not 3 feet away. There's no gold 3 feet, 100 feet. It's also called the sunk cost fallacy. We're like, well, I've been digging for 6 years. I better keep digging. No, learn a trade, all right? Find something that gives you meaning other than just trying to make money easily, okay? Anyways, as you can tell, I don't like that meme. But I can't tell if this song is about making it or not making it. But that's part of why I guess it's these sad songs. Then we get to Speeding Through the Rain, a nice floaty, jazzy beat. Great beats all the way throughout this album. Speeding through the goddamn rain. He's just mad, He's just mad the whole time. Then we get to Still. The song I was most excited for because I really like Absol and I really like Rhapsody. A great warm beat. Oh, my God, man, Static Selector really kills it, the beat here because it's such a sad kind of beat in keeping the rest of the album, but there's one single 808 cowbell, the ding, 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 that just hits once, just jing, just once every 8 bars, but it brings a little bit of light, a little bit of there. Again, shout out to Kiki, who was just as upset as I am that Rhapsody is not rapping on here. Come on. I mean, Rhapsody's great at singing. That's great, but we need a Rhapsody verse. And Absol, you know Absol. He's going to bring it. Killer voice, multisyllabic madness, 10 steps ahead, something surely afoot. Doing this shit blindfolded, stare at the mirror. I can't even look at myself in the eye. I don't even know how I look. He struggles a lot with his eyesight. And so he's actually telling the truth that he can't actually look at himself in the mirror, which is a very interesting thing to confront because he's speaking metaphorically, but then he's also speaking literally to a certain extent. It's interesting because earlier in the song, Joey makes reference to having that Stevie vision, and I think Absol obviously has more sight than Stevie Wonder does, but still he has significant eyesight loss. So that's an interesting tie together. And then what's cool is earlier Joey says, what's the highest duty for a man? Protect and provide for the fam. And here in Absol, I got to go farther for the sake of my daughters. And that's, am I getting jerky? I am getting jerky. It's okay. It's going to end soon. I'm just going to pause it. Is it getting jerky? I'm just going to pause it. All right, it's still all goofy, but I'm almost done here. This line, I got to go farther for the sake of my daughters. He repeats it for the sake of my soul. I think it's beautiful. I think it's everything the song is trying to say. I think it's that growth. I think it's the vulnerability that I think Absol is able to communicate better than Joey. So I'd love for the three of them. They're going to be going on tour together, and I think it'll be great to see them. I think they would all do well to work together because I think they would really complement each other quite a bit. Yeah, I think it's really great. But just this line, I got to go farther for the sake of my daughter, the homophone of father and further, and just like, you got to go farther. You can hear my kids upstairs. Beautiful. Lonely at the Top is the final album. It's the sad cherry on top of the sad pie, slow jazzy beat, and then this unbelievably awesome drum beat comes underneath. Hey man, this is good. This is really good. It's better than this video quality where I'm all jerky-worky. He does have like a Pusha T flow though. What's up with that? Why is he trying to rap like Pusha T? I don't know, but it's nice. Kind of underwater bit at the end. Feels like he's constantly drowning, constantly lonely. He says he's at the top, but he's in the middle, and I feel a lot of empathy towards him. And I think we need to just say, hey man, this is a great album. Sorry that your record label sucks. You can do better. We all know you can do better. I suspect that the reason that people are harsh on this album is because they know he can do better, and maybe he'll have like a great comeback, Chance can do it. And this isn't, all right. Well, anyways, I'll stop this weird herky-jerky stuff, and I will say, there's the camera. Wait, where's the camera? Oh, it's over there now.